Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 21 of the Coronavirus in the Independent Retailer. I'm your host, Bob Nagin, and congratulations, we are another 3 days closer to the end of this. Who knows when the end of this will be, but no matter what, we're closer, and I think that is so important. So, I hope that you had a great weekend. We did. The weather was lovely. I'm wearing my nice lavender polo, feeling like a little spring. But before I get in today's message, I wanted to share with you. I just got schnookered. That's not right. Schnookered is getting drunk. That's not what it was. I got had. So Julie Hubbard is one. She's been part of our community forever, and she's one of our favorite people. And so I was reading on her page this. She said, today marks 3 weeks of isolation, walking 2 miles a day, no meat, dairy, or flour, eating fresh vegetables, home cooked meals every day. The change has been fantastic. I feel great. Zero alcohol, healthy diet, gluten free, caffeine free, sugar free. I should have known because she owns a coffee shop that caffeine and 1 hour home workout each day, lost 20 pounds and gained muscle mass. I've even cut my screen time in half, and I'm reading a book a week. Now, this is where I quit reading because I immediately felt guilty. It was like, how can Julie be doing so great? And I'm just trying to maintain, right? I'm just trying to make it through every day. And so at night, last night, Susan and I are talking, and I said, man, did you read Julie's post? And she looked at me and she said, did you read to the end of the post? I said, no, I was just kind of, struck by guilt and I didn't read any farther. And by the way, I do that a lot, start reading something and stop. But then she said, I have no idea whose status is his, but I'm really proud of them. So I decided to copy and paste. So I got a real chuckle out of that one. But it is getting to be time, isn't it? That's how I'm feeling. This is 4 weeks. Here in Michigan, it's 4 weeks. Some of you have even been longer, shelter in place. And just, for me, I'm just speaking for myself right now. I'm feeling the need to start doing some things. Yesterday I took out my planner and I planned my week for the first time since this whole thing started. I set a couple goals. I was doing really well on my health and fitness. And for the last 4 weeks, it's been essentially nothing, not quite nothing. But, so I have a goal to work out 4 times this week and to meditate every day. I've just decided that it's probably time to get back to as normal as possible. But that thing from Julie just cracked me up. So I just thought I'd share it because I know from our conversations on Whiz Bang Retailers, everybody's still in this sort of discombobulated stage, which is what I want to talk about today. This is something that is happening. And when I say this is something, I mean, we are all learning lessons right now. And we're not just learning little lessons like floss your teeth in not little lessons. What is happening right now is going to have a profound change on the way that we think, the way that we feel, the way that we do business. It's just really starting to sink into me just how profound this whole thing really is. That the new normal is not going to be the same as the old normal. It just won't. I mean, I'm a hugger. I just don't see hugging, I do see hugging, but everything has changed. Everything has changed. And going back to what we talked about in the very, very first podcast, when we talked about Viktor Frankl and in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he says, it's not what the circumstance is, it's how we react to the circumstance. So, we're learning lessons. We're probably not even aware of some of the lessons that we're learning. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. About being present and being proactive about this experience and what you're learning from this experience. You know, I shared with you a while ago that journaling is one of my, this is my journal, by the way, is one of my most powerful habits that, I mean, it's truly a habit that I have. Twice a day I journal. And what I've found in the last 3 or 4 days is my journaling has become much, much, much deeper. It's not a list of things that I'm grateful for and a list of things that I did, but there's an outpouring of my spirit and the lessons that I'm learning. And I think that that's super, super healthy for me. And I think it's going to be super healthy for me now. And I think it's going to be super healthy for me in the future when I look back at this time. But there's two different paths here when we talk about learning the lessons and writing down the lessons and being proactive about the lessons. And the first is your business, because I know that there are huge changes in the way that people are doing business on Whiz Bang Retailers. By the way, if you're listening to this as a podcast, I would really encourage you to go to Facebook and join, and you're a retailer or somebody who cares about retailers, join our Facebook group, Whiz Bang Retailers. Really, really wonderful conversations happening there. And thank you for everybody who's contributing. But, you know, I'm just looking at what's happening, and I'm paying attention to the conversations that are happening and the things that are emerging. You know, people are banging up websites in record time. People who would never dream of doing live social media are now doing live social media. People are saying that they're working twice as hard for half the money, but I guarantee you that you are learning lessons in that twice as hard for half the money. Lessons that are going to really, really serve you in good stead when this is all over. But it's one thing to just experience it and learn the lesson viscerally. It's another thing to be proactive about what you're learning. So there's two things that I strongly encourage you to do. And the first is to, if you have the Retail Mastery System, go into your marketing module and get the promotions planner and the promotions recap form out, download it, customize it to you, print up a bunch of them, because you're doing all this new stuff, aren't you? You're doing a Facebook Live, and I'm encouraging you to use those forms and be proactive about learning and improving. So if you're going to do a Facebook Live, do a promotions planner. How are you promoting this? What are you planning on doing to make it as effective as possible? And then at the end, that promotions recap form is super, super powerful. You see, if you use those two forms before and after every new thing that you're doing, you're going to get better so much faster. I call it the PIP, the Perpetual Improvement Process. My son Joe just gives me a bunch of shit because I love TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. But this is PIP, isn't it? So if you've done 10 Facebook Lives right now, if you had sat down at the end and said, what went right? What went wrong? If you had engaged your team and asked them what went right, what went wrong, how can we improve? What should we do next time? You're going to improve so much faster. So all the things that you're doing right now, I would encourage you, if it's, that to make notes, to create a journal or a log. And the other thing that I would encourage you to do is to create a marketing book. And this is one of those little secrets that really, really, really is super powerful. And a marketing book is simply a 3-ring binder. Some people keep it electronically, but I like a 3-ring binder. I'm old school. And every bit of marketing that you do gets printed, gets put into that 3-ring binder. So basically, you have a record of all the marketing that you've done. Promotions recap, promotions planner, emails that you've sent, the results that you get. But again, what are you doing? by engaging in the process of writing it down, of thinking of it, of recording it, of keeping it, of being able to go back to it, you are becoming wiser and smarter in a positive, proactive way. So again, promotions recap, and promotions planner. If you don't have the retail mastery system, well, you should, but that's neither here nor there. Really, all you have to do is you have to write down, put your thoughts. What am I going to do this time? And when it's done, what worked? What didn't work? How many sales did we do? What should we do better next time? So it doesn't have to be a form that we've created, but it is important that you write about it, you think about it, you write it down, and then you have access to it in the future. And the other thing that I want to talk about this morning is what's going on in your life. You know, we're talking about all the lessons that we're learning. Yes, we're learning so many lessons in our business, but we're also learning so many lessons in our lives. And I shared that, earlier, just a couple minutes ago. Things are changing, and for me to be able to think about it and not just roll it around, but to articulate it and put it on paper, really helps it make more sense to me. And I'll post on Whiz Bang Retailers a link to a Real Retail TV that I did about my journaling habit. But I just really want to encourage you to think about the enormity of what is happening right now and to find a vehicle to help you sort it out. You know, for some people, you might, have a tape recorder and you go for walks and just talk about your day. But I believe that the process of taking it from rattling around in your brain and putting it someplace, whether it's a recording, whether it's a video, whether it's a journal, whether you just write it on scraps of paper. I think that the lessons that you learn from this experience that we're all going through will be articulated better. The lessons you learn will be, you'll be able to better deal with what's going on. And I think even most importantly, you'll be able to come out of whatever is happening right now much stronger, much better with both business and life. So this whole idea of, okay, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy, crazy 4 weeks. Now it's time for us to start getting serious about figuring out what we've learned, what we're learning, and how we're going to take what we've learned and make it into a better future, personally, professionally, in our relationships, with our families, with our spouses, with each other, with our communities. So I hope that you found that helpful. We are in the beginning of another week, and I just want to say thank you to all of you. The positive focus exercise on Whiz Bang Retailers. I just get such a warm feeling reading about all the wonderful things that you're all doing, how hard you're trying, how much you're changing, how much you're growing, what is going on. So I'm just so proud of you. Oh, I had one final request. I'm sorry, I was going to do this at the beginning of the show, but Friday's episode of Real Retail TV was about what to do when you feel like giving up. And it is the most watched episode by more than double. Not more than double, but it's our most watched episode by far. And it's not an episode for everybody, but it's an episode that is really, really important for some people. Now, that's episode number 20. And if you know somebody who is feeling really, really discouraged, I would encourage you to share that episode with them. I've gotten many, many private messages and many wonderful messages on the page saying this was exactly what was needed for me right now. So, it is a message of hope. It is a message. It's a way to put things into context. And, our mission here is to help. Our mission here is to serve. And I think that episode will help and serve some people very, very well. So if you could get that into the hands of people who could use it, it's appreciated. All right, everybody. Keep up the good work. We are one day closer, baby. I don't care. Remember, AAA. Assess, where are you today emotionally? Where are you in your business? Where are you in your, with your relationships? Adjust. What do you have to do to advance? What do you have to do to get to tomorrow? Because remember, every day gets us closer to the end. So speaking of tomorrow, I'm all done here today, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning, 9:30.